Jack walks up to you and says, he's done it again. We're opening a branch office in San Francisco, and by rights, I'm the senior person on the team, and I should go. But no, he's sending George. He always sends George. What would your response be? Welcome to this week's Dragonfly Soup. I'm Linda Watson-Call, and I'm so glad you could join me today. A few episodes ago, I talked about how to change from being a victim to a victor. Well, I got a few emails from viewers who asked, how can I help change a friend who acts like a victim most of the time? Short answer, unless that person really wants to change, you can't change him or her. But there is a way to nudge that person to start thinking for himself and taking on responsibility for his decisions. First, I do need to clarify. We are not talking about a person who has mental issues or is clinically depressed. That person needs to seek help from someone other than you or me. But if that person is not seeing someone, you just might be instrumental in directing that person to find professional help. Today, we're going to look at a person that you might say is a whiner, or has a dark cloud over his head, or maybe is a chronic complainer. Let's look at one example. You probably know someone like this. He is always saying he has to get a different job. From being passed over for promotions to having the worst office or workspace, because the supervisor doesn't like him. You would just like to hear him say once that he actually quit his job. But even if he got a different job, you wonder, would he stay happy there for long? Or maybe the woman you know storms into your kitchen and says she has had it with her husband, her family, her life. She needs to leave. You think, didn't she sing that same song last month? Oh, the lyrics were different. This time, he worked late every day this week. Last time, he told her she spent too much money on groceries. Her song goes on and on, but there is never a resolution. And then there's the father who just wants to throw his son out of the house. The son is 25 and should be out on his own. And boy, does that dad have a list of issues of what's wrong with his son. We all have friends like that. And just how much can you listen to? What can you say without either ending up in a longer conversation about what's going wrong, or give them some advice that just probably will turn out wrong? It's a hard call, especially if you are working on keeping a positive outlook on life and don't want to get drawn into that downward spiral. Here are some ways to handle the situation and maybe even have a positive influence on that other person. First, listen actively. Look at that person and listen to the words they are saying. Don't get caught up in the drama. Don't try to respond to their story. Just listen. I know, it's hard, but just listen and give them your undivided attention. Keep your body language neutral. Something like this. By keeping my shoulders open, I'm inviting the other person to talk. But by crossing your arms like this is sending the message that you really don't want to hear what that person has to say. Repeat what that person said. This is important. Repeat to them exactly what was said without any comments. So let's use our first example, the person who wants to quit his job. Jack walks up to you and says, he's done it again. We're opening a branch office in San Francisco, and by rights, I'm the senior person on the team, and I should go. But no, he's sending George. He always sends George. Would your response be, I knew it, I really think he has something against you? Or would you say, I hear you. You feel that because you are the senior person on the team, you should go to San Francisco and not George. Notice, even in the second response, you didn't disagree or agree with Jack. You simply restated what he said. Now, Jack might continue to rant about the unfair treatment or say something like, "You got it, and that's why I have to get out of this place. It really sucks." What you want to do is diffuse the conversation, not let it continue, and let the person with the complaint start to think about what he should really do. Now, this next step, it can be hard. Don't judge. Especially if this is your best friend or really feel that in this case the person has a valid situation. You don't want to tell him or her what you would do, because everyone handles everything differently. Your solution may not be the best for that person. So let's take the woman who keeps saying she has to leave her husband. And you listen and provide feedback. And it sounds something like this. "I can tell that you're upset with Sam because Sam accused you of spending this week more than the budget allowed." Most of us, especially if we think we know the situation, well, we would like to come back with something like, "Just tell him if he could budget that money better, then maybe he should take over shopping." Wrong. If she listens to you and it doesn't turn out the way we think it would, and she gets into more trouble, who's in trouble? Yeah, she is, but so are you for giving her advice. This is not the result we want. Instead, encourage her to come up with her own plan. Say something like, "How do you think you should handle this?" Then go back to active listening. Now she has to think about the situation and what she would do. If she comes back with something like, "I just need to get out," rephrase her statement. Then ask something like, "Do you want to discuss your plan?" Notice it's not your part to make any suggestions, nor do you want to engage in her pity party. This way, you are encouraging her to make her own decision, but you are guiding her along the way. She might decide that she overreacted to the incident, or that she needs to look at her spending plans, or she needs to leave no matter what. This outcome is not up to you, and it's not up to me. You don't tell her what to do. You don't get dragged into the drama or the victim mentality. As a friend, we can encourage her to come up with her own plan and actions. And listen for a doable action. See if you can get a commitment from your friend to take a positive next step. Now, let's look at our friend with the son. Maybe he says that instead of just throwing the kid out, he needs to have a real sit-down, a man-to-man conversation with his kid and find out why he's not taking on more responsibilities. That would be a good start. And when your friend gives you an option, tell that friend that you'd be interested in finding out how it went. Now you are showing an interest in the result, not the drama. And your friend will feel that he or she needs to act and do whatever it is that they said that they were going to do. Finally, follow up. Your interaction with your friend just might be what he or she needs to keep moving forward and stop acting like a victim. In a couple of days, call, text, email, and ask your friend how it went. The results might surprise you. So, really, what we're talking about today is empowering our friend, our family member, our coworker to make his or her own decisions. By doing this, we are helping them to break their victim mentality. We need to empathize with them. That's why we repeat back to them what they say. We show them that we understand, because by disagreeing with them, we will only make them want to prove themselves right, and agreeing with them will encourage victim mentality. Having them discuss their options gives them the power and responsibility for their actions. And by following up, we let them know that we will continue to care for them and their situation, but they need to take the action steps. Easy? No. Necessary? Yes. Especially if we want to continue our positive path and help them to decide which path is best for them. And when they succeed and they become a victor, well, we'll feel great as well. I look forward to hearing back from you and letting me know how this plan works for you and your friend. And I'll see you next week right here on Dragonfly Soup. Here's to our transformation and our best year ever.